And we are live.
Hi. Ooh, hello. Sounding very.
Hello.
I don't
Hi,
think we
everyone.
reminded anybody that we were.
You know what? It's been a little bit of a late April, just in general. Like my spirit is late. The
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything about you. I'm just saying how we normally like put something in the Black Prose story. I completely forgot.
oh, that's right. I did too. Yeah. Again, April has been very fast.
It's like a runaway train.
It really is.
It's
It's
very
like,
strange.
hello. It's April 10th already.
How?
It's April 10th, bro.
How did we get here?
I'm just existing at this point because yeah. How have you guys been doing in this fine, hectic month?
Um, eh, it's just a lot of, I don't know. I can't even like put together a day successfully.
Felt that.
That's not. What's no? That wow. Okay. I was like,
Oshley about broke Oshley.
I was like trying to find words, and I was like, "Yeah, I can relate." Because I was about to be like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "No, that actually makes perfect sense to me emotionally. Makes perfect sense. I get it."
Listen, while I give people like 3 more minutes to come in, let me tell y'all, I need a name for my coworker because I don't want to use her actual name.
um, let's use Felicity.
Okay, so I have a coworker named Felicity, right?
Right.
And remember how I told you, I don't think I've said it on the podcast, but like in general, Felicity thinks we're friends. But Felicity
Always.
also talks shit behind my back.
Ooh. Damn.
And like the people that she talked to be coming back and telling me what she says.
That's horrible.
I've only been there for 3 months, but Felicity has already got me fucked up. So
Felicity needs to be confronted.
I can't. Okay, so here's the dilemma. The dilemma is in this particular job, you are on probation for a year.
Oh wow.
So basically, it means that they don't need to like follow protocol to fire you. If
Damn.
they don't like what you're doing, they can just let you go with no real reasons, right?
Wow.
So because of this, I can't piss off Felicity because Felicity seems very vindictive and Felicity gets away with murder basically in the office. Felicity be like, the boss tell us to do something, and she'd be like, you don't have to do that. He was just suggesting it.
What?
Yes. I was like, what world do we live in where the boss's command is a suggestion? This is like the most non-melanated approach to work I've ever heard.
Mm.
I was like, you operate in a realm that I have never been able to operate in.
You know what you're gonna have to do, Brittany?
Probably gonna have to do that nice nasty moves.
Well, you're gonna have to play. Is Felicity of the Palm people,
Of
the
course,
Palm
Felicity is
complected
palm
people?
colored.
Okay, so this is what you're gonna. So what you're gonna have to do. You're going to have to out white woman Felicity,
Oh Lord.
and I'm dead serious.
I know.
So
That's why I said, oh Lord.
so what you do is you just play. You have to somehow. I know this will be hard, but you have to kind of dumb down how competent you are in front of her and just play dumb. So if she's like, "Oh, that was just a suggestion," you'll be like, "Oh, okay, I definitely understand. Just, I'm a stickler for following the rules, so I'll probably do it anyway." Like you're just gonna have to act like you're not as smart as you are. I mean, try your best. I know that will be hard, but just try to act like you're not as smart and capable as you actually are, because that is what is putting a target on your back. Is that she feels very threatened by you, and she probably somewhere deep down inside feels like you could come in and surpass her in some way, and that's why she's acting like she is. And so it's like that place where it's like they feel threatened, so the passive aggressiveness comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, because she has seniority and tenure, and
Got
she's
seniority or tenure. Let's also be clear.
well, she is of the Palm people. So it's one of those things where it's like you kind of have to beat them at their own game, because you can't be straightforward with them because that doesn't work. And you can't be honest with them because that doesn't work. And you can't just be good at your job and keep to yourself because that doesn't work. So it's like you have to be fake, which sucks. And you just have to pretend that you're not as smart and competent as you actually are in front of them. And then behind their back, you just do your job and, do amazing. But when you're in front of them, you just be like, oh my goodness, I had no idea how to read. Wow, I see it now. Like, you just have to be like, it's so sad.
Probably should have consulted you before I started my 8-step plan to ruin Felicity's work image.
Oh my God. I'm dead. Oh my God. Or you can do that.
I'm really not kidding. The moment I found out she was going around the office telling people that I was a weirdo because she came into my office and saw that I was listening to Jazz Studio Ghibli, I knew that she and I would be immortal enemies.
Not a weirdo because of that.
Bro.
I'm dead.
That is like so common. Why is she
I don't
weirded out by
know.
that?
I was just like, listen, so basically before I got there, Felicity was the only person on the team next to my boss. And Felicity was in charge of this super important report. I'm now in charge of said report. And basically I was, I learned that the report goes out like in the summertime. Guess when my good sis Felicity put the report out last year?
When?
December.
Of course. Oh my God.
And Felicity still has a job.
Of course she does, because the system was built to uplift her. So she's going to have a job regardless. Like, my good friend just told me, this is a segue, but this is an example to highlight what I just said. But a good friend of mine just told me about a coworker that she has that she's been forced to work with, also of the palm complected people, who there is proof that she has embezzled, and I am not exaggerating, over $600,000 from the company that she's been working for 10 years, and she's not
For
even
10 years?
Yes, and she's not even close to being fired, y'all.
What?
She also applied for PPP loans and got $18,000 worth of PPP loans based off of the $600,000 that she embezzled, which she created a umbrella company, and a company that doesn't actually exist. She created
You
this
are
company.
killing me right now.
I'm not playing games with
Killing me
you.
right now.
But that's just how much the system was built to protect and uplift their level of mediocrity, not just mediocrity, but straight up thievery and criminality. So it's kind of like, that's why it's like you have to do the passive aggressive thing, because unfortunately, if it's like your word against them, or you have to go against them in front of an authority figure, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose your job, which is so annoying.
Sometimes I wonder what it's like to be envelopian. Anyway.
Not enveloping.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Prose Club, where Black books, Black lives, and Black stories have always mattered. I am one of your hosts, Brittany, aka Melanin Eclectic, aka the Studio Ghibli Nut.
I'm Oshale of Oshi Reads and Oshi Writes here. And if I fall asleep during this podcast, I apologize. I'm very tired. And I've been working 60-hour weeks for 3 months. Thank you.
Oh, God.
And I'm Troy Nicole of Inkler Studio here on YouTube. I forgot to put it, but Troy with a Y and not an I.
Actually, yeah, that should be your sign. And like every time you introduce yourself, it should always be.
Normally it's at the bottom.
It is normally on your name. That's so true.
But I didn't log in today, so I had to type everything, and I was already late. So
Troy was like, some things had to go by the wayside.
So today's podcast is going to be a conglomeration podcast, meaning that we don't really have a specific topic today, but there's a lot of stuff that we've had in the news and on social media that we just want to talk about. So I have a list. We have a timer. We're going to try to get through all of these topics today. And if y'all have anything that y'all heard about in the news that y'all want to talk about, put it in the comments. We might hit it at the end.
Ooh.
So the first topic of today is hairstylists versus the natural hair gurus on Twitter.
It's a good one.
So basically, if you guys don't know, there's been this very large argument between the licensed hairstylist and the natural hair gurus of YouTube about all the different things that the natural hair gurus tell you to do that is just not necessary to grow your hair, maintain your hair, or anything like that. And in true form fashion, because for some reason we are the only community that talks about what we should and shouldn't do to our hair and judge everybody for doing whatever they want to their hair, it has caused a very large argument.
Okay.
Um,
I have so much to say on this.
I'm gonna let you take it then.
The first thing that I just wish that more people were aware of is that a lot of these natural hair YouTubers, influencers, TikTokers, whatever you want to call them, are modern day grifters. And what it is they have been blessed with amazing genetics. And a lot of them, have long hair, full hair. We're not even going to talk about the whole hair typing system and how the 3C and, whatever, the looser curl. I don't even know what these letters mean, but the looser curl pattern girls get more views and more sponsorships. And there are all these products trying to convince women with the tightest coils that you can have your hair be like fucking ringlets, which is not true. But these women are modern day grifters, a lot of them, because they've been blessed with amazing genetics. And yes, some of them do have really good regimens, and some of them do have some knowledge about hair, the actual science of hair. And yes, some of them are actually like knowledgeable, but that's a very small number. Most of them are grifters, and they just have great genetics that has allowed them to grow their hair very healthy. And unfortunately, in our community, what is the most important? Very long. So any girl with long hair, even if it's the least desired hair type, which we all know is the 4C hair, even if it's the
Mhm.
tightest, coiliest hair possible, if she has hair down to her freaking bottom, then all of a sudden she gets hundreds and thousands of millions of views. She's telling you how to go into your kitchen and put a fucking avocado with some fucking peppers, with some goddamn mayonnaise together for a fucking pre-poo. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's ridiculous. And people eat it up because they're like, oh my God, well, look at her hair. It's down to her waist. Like, everything she's saying must be right. And I'm going to get hair like hers. And I'm like, no, 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 no. A lot of the hair that she has on her head right now is due to her genes. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do to get your hair to be like hers. It's just not possible. So it's frustrating because I feel like they're taking advantage of a huge insecurity that we as Black women have, which is our hair, which is caused by living in a white supremacist society. And they're just
Mhm.
making money off of it because they get the views. And then all of a sudden you see them hawking, Carol's Daughter, which formula doesn't work for most of us. They're hawking, what's the other company that sold out? Whose formula no longer works for
Shea
us?
Moisture.
Day Moisture. Then all of a sudden you see they're doing sponsorships with this person. Then all of a sudden they have their own hair care line that hasn't been approved by the FDA because they don't have the preservatives. You're buying their hair butters. Meanwhile, their hair butter is fucking growing mold in your damn cabinet because it doesn't have the
Oh my God, this
preservatives.
is a rant today, honey.
Look, I would go in, okay? It wasn't created by a chemist that knows, about the science of hair and what products are good for hair, much less black hair, and they're just mixing some fucking, desserts together and selling it to you, and it doesn't have the things to preserve it, so it's growing mold and you're putting fucking moldy shit in your hair. I could go on. I don't even want to continue this. But it really makes me very angry because I do feel that a lot of these girls, again, I'm not going to say all of them because a small minority of them are actually knowledgeable or they have gone out of their way to gain the knowledge. So they're not spreading misinformation. But a lot of them are taking advantage of people. And it makes me so mad.
I'm gonna have to agree. Mainly just I think it's because the influencer the influencer power is so strong in this current time frame that it's not about being knowledgeable, it's about being likable. So I think because of that particular reason, nobody's actually fact checking. It's more like, oh, well, this person that I love to watch every day always uses the following, products, or they're always doing their hair like this. And so, subconsciously we are when we consume things like that and it becomes repetitive, like we are not thinking about facts. A lot of people don't realize that the only way that you're going to be able to truly take care of your hair is to actually take care of your hair.
I 100% agree. And I think that we have to do the self work and inner work to understand that if you are going to have natural hair, first of all, why are you watching videos of people that don't have your hair type? The first thing. Second of all, why are you watching somebody make a video about how if you use these 25 products, then your hair will be more manageable, then your hair will be softer, then your hair will be in this like curl pattern that you don't have naturally? You're spending so much time manipulating your hair into looking a way that it doesn't naturally look. And it's one thing to style your hair here and there, do a twist out, do a braid out, do this, do that, whatever. That's fine. But when you're spending hours upon hours, not to mention hundreds of thousands of dollars on products to manipulate your hair into looking so outside of the box from what it naturally does, you're literally fighting your hair texture. I think that is something that needs to be examined, and we all need to sit down with ourselves and try to figure out why.
Yeah. I mean, I felt called out when they were like, why it take y'all so long to do your hair? Because I thought about it. And I was like, well, one, it takes me so long to do my hair because I never just sit down and just do my hair. That's one. And then two, my arms be getting tired.
I mean, that's a real thing. And it's like, I feel like you're damned as a Black woman with your hair. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Like, you're damned if you have an 8-hour wash day. Somebody's gonna have something to say about that. Then you're damned if you have a 2-hour wash day and you're like, shit, I'm just gonna wash my hair, deep condition, and keep it moving. Then you're damned if you decide to wear wigs because you're just like, I don't fucking have the time. I have a life, I have kids, I have a job, I have a business. I do not have 12 hours in a week to focus on my hair. So I'm about to braid this shit down and wear wigs. Then people have stuff to say about that. Then if you just want to wear braids all the time, people have something to say about that. Like, it's just insane. If you want to cut all your hair off and just be bald, people have something to say about that. If you want to lock your hair, it's exhausting. If you want to relax your hair and you're like, you know what, I don't have time to be natural right now, I'm just gonna have straight hair. Oh man, do people have something to say about that? So it's exhausting.
I would just like us as a community to be freed from the shackles of the same 3 arguments we have as a community.
I know,
on social
right?
media. Like, it's really funny because, like, for instance, you don't see, now I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but you don't see as much Hispanics, Asian, Pacific Islanders, whoever, having conversations about, oh, that remedy of turmeric and honey doesn't work. Like, that, the ancestors were lying. They just let their mama mix the damn turmeric and put it on their face. They don't have these long conversations about why it doesn't make sense. Either do the turmeric mask or don't do the turmeric mask.
Facts.
Literally, it's not that
I
big
love
of a
a
deal.
turmeric mask, by the way, but continue.
Right? but you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
it's one of the conversations on Twitter was about hot oil treatment and protective styles, and a lot of the natural hairstyles talking about how protective styles don't do anything and don't protect your hair from anything. Okay, my question is, regardless of what science says, what natural gurus on YouTube say, what your teacher says, why does it matter? If someone decides to get a braid style done, why does it matter if they get Marley twists? I don't get it.
Also, they weren't called protective styles until the natural hair community wanted to relabel everything.
Yeah, I just called them
talking braids and twists and stuff.
They were just hairstyles. Yeah. They were just hairstyles that you got because, I mean, I remember growing up, you got braids. I only got braids if it was like a special occasion, or honestly, my mama just got tired of doing my hair.
Braids during the summer because my mom was like, you about to go swimming. I'm not doing all this to your hair.
Exactly.
And then I got it for like the first day of school.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I also got my hair greased with blue grease.
Mm-hmm.
And my mama used shampoo every time she washed my hair.
Right.
So it's like at this point, I really just want all of us to stop interjecting what somebody else is doing to their hair.
I think the problem starts when you have somebody who, like you said, because of likability, has a platform and then they now have a voice. And what's working for their hair, people now look at that as some type of standard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, 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 no. That's what works for them. Okay, if they want to, puree 3 bananas and avocado and an egg yolk and put it on their damn head for
You
45
are
minutes every
so
week.
pressed about these so mad.
No, but some of them do work for some people.
Oh,
I
no,
don't have anything against them.
I
I
used to
just
do a
think that,
mayonnaise one when I was younger. My grandma did it. I didn't have
but
to say so, but my hair was thick.
but that's what I'm saying. Like they work, but they're not a one size fits all.
But you
Right.
know
So
what?
it's what?
Oshale's right though, because like that happens. Like I think there's a good conversation about this where social media comes into play, because if you think about it, every place stemming from skincare, hair care, makeup on YouTube has that hierarchy in it. Hell, there's that one white skincare guy who I don't know his name because I don't watch him, but someone
Isn't
put
his
on
name start with
Twitter.
the H, like Haram, Haram,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
something like that?
yeah.
I have
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
like
idea who you guys talking
he's
about.
not licensed to do anything.
Nope.
I'm assuming that's his pronoun. I'm sorry. They are not licensed to do anything. Okay.
Okay.
And someone put on Twitter like last year, I think, that they were looking for a specific brand of CeraVe.
Yeah.
And someone commented, "Oh, you should try this instead." This person, on YouTube said, and all the girl said was, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't really want to take any advice from someone who doesn't have a license." Why did that start a full out storm of this person's like whole following?
We've talked about the insane follow culture.
And
Ooh.
it's ridiculous, because why are you getting mad? Because you don't know this girl's skin. Like I was on Accutane. I'm not watching somebody on YouTube and
No,
following their
absolutely not.
skincare routine when I was on Accutane for 9 months and it changed my skin forever. Like that's just
Exactly.
not gonna happen.
And I think that's also what people don't understand is what's in the fine print. Like with the hair, what we see is not always what we see.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody has hair down to their ass crack and you're like, oh my gosh, it's because they've been doing Cardi B's deep conditioning regimen twice a month for 18 years. Like, and then you look at their mama, you look at their grandma, and they look at your great grandma, you look at the aunties, and everybody has hair down to their ass.
Yeah.
Okay, then clearly they're just their family, it runs in their genes, and the genetics portion has 90%. Same thing with these skincare gurus. You look at their family members and they have clear skin. They post throwback Thursdays, they've always had beautiful skin. Or you find out that they went to a dermatologist when they were 15 and got on Accutane, and they're here telling you about a, acne regimen. Like it's fraudulent.
It is.
And that's the information we don't have. Like we don't have that information of like, how did your skin get to this point? You're just turning on a camera and making a video and being like, my skincare routine and how I keep my skin hydrated and all this shit. And now all of a sudden you have a sponsorship deal and you have your own skincare line. And it's like, first of all, you don't have a degree. You're not a dermatologist. You're not an esthetician. You fucking got on Accutane when you were 12. Like, we need the information. So we're not out here like, oh my God, how did you get that glass skin? Oh, Korean skincare. It's a little bit more than Korean skincare.
But you know what? It's the same way that for like years of us being on this podcast, I come up whenever we show our faces here and there, and I have a new hair color, and there's always at least one comment in the chat going, "How is Troy's hair not falling out?" And I don't have an answer for you.
That has been like a running piece of voodoo for this chat for years.
Like all I can tell you is that on my dad's side of the family is that like his grandmother, she died at like 99 and her hair was down her back,
Y'all
and
got
her sister
Right.
had hair
locks.
down their back. Like I can't tell you why I bleached my hair yesterday and decided actually no, I want it black, and I dyed it black with the box dye, and it did not. I have no idea. I can't.
But here's the problem, because there's literally, Troy, there is this girl on YouTube whose whole entire brand is that she dyes her hair like every month. I kid you not. I don't know if you've run across her videos, but she's like this pale white woman who has like millions of subscribers, and she literally dyes her hair every month.
Really?
I kid you not. That is her whole
But
brand.
here's my question though. Does her hair look like straw now?
No. That's what I'm trying to say. Like her hair is very healthy and it looks perfectly fine. And then you have people in the comments being like, "Oh my gosh, I tried this and my hair fell out." Or like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not even kidding." Or like, "Oh my god, like I tried this." Or like her hair also is very porous, so it takes really well to color. So she'll be like, "Dye my hair red," and it comes out just like the box. "Dye my hair this," and it comes out just like the box. So
Oh,
it's
she
just
needs to
like,
put a disclaimer in the front of her videos, is what you're saying.
well, it's not even, well, yes, definitely she does. But I'm just saying that like there's something about the influencer culture and when people have that much of a following and it's like that follower culture that you guys are talking about, that fan culture, where people's brain cells and their logic just goes out the window. Because anyone with common sense would be like, all right, well, her hair must just be really take well to dye. Like that's what I think when I see Troy's hair. I'm like, okay, this girl's ancestor is holding her hair on by the roots. Like that hair
I
ain't
also
budging.
would like to say, and my answer is always that I'm not afraid of scissors. Like if it comes down to it, I
That's
will cut
also
off hair.
facts because you done snipped multiple times that I've known you as well.
And
Yeah.
then in 3 to 5 business days, your hair is back to the feeling that it was. But like that's genetics. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
3 to 5 business days. Stop.
no, but it's true. She'll
But
be like,
also,
"Oh,
she
look at
ain't
her cut
lying
hair," and I'm
though.
like,
Because
"How? Where?
remember that one time where Troy cut like all her hair off and she almost went teeny weeny out. She almost went tiny afro, like short.
Yeah.
And then by like that summer, that shit was back down. Like,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
sure.
No,
But-
you know what really kills me is that one summer for the pandemic, I went fire engine red on accident, and then like 2 weeks later, my hair was like, I don't know, it was like a blonde color, and I remember somebody DMing me asking, "How the hell did you get all that red out?" And I was just like, I don't know, I used color remover. It was
exactly. But homegirl probably gonna use color remover and her damn hair gonna fall out. So it's like you know what I
Disclaimer,
mean?
Black Crows Club is not responsible for anything you choose
At
to do with
all.
your hair.
please don't
Please
ask me anything.
Please consult with a licensed beautician. We don't condone anything for face. Please contact your local dermatologist. Thank you.
But
Like-
it's like that with anything. Like this happened recently with the damn meal hair oil. Like all these people are like, "Oh my god!" And you know what people are talking about?
Yo,
Look at
that
this.
mess was too funny. Oh my god, it's made my hair so oily, bitch.
My-
It's an oil.
It's oil.
Then
It's
you have
literally
people saying-
oil.
Then you have people saying that their scalp was inflamed, they were getting bumps. You have people saying their hair was falling out, and I'm just like, everything ain't for everybody. But for
I
whatever
don't get it.
reason,
But no, real question. Why do white people need to oil their hair though?
You know damn well why.
they don't.
Because we do it.
I don't get it.
There's
we,
no
we
logical
only
reason
need to
why
use oils because our hair is too tightly coiled.
And not
natural
everybody,
oils don't go down.
not every Black person needs to use oil at
No.
that, which is even
My-
wilder.
My baby sister does not.
Yeah, but me, let me go
Oh,
too long
child,
without
listen.
doing a full lock moment. My hair would
My
be
hair
like,
mad
"Ooh."
right now.
Right. I was just about to say that. I was like, my braids right now are dehydrated.
Talk about Felicia, Lord child.
Oh no.
Yeah. Speaking of movies,
Segue.
Oshaley just told us something that's really got me annoyed, but it's the same way Oshaley ranted about hair, I have rants about things called reboots.
Ooh.
And apparently, the people who made Moana, I don't like to say their name because I don't need nobody coming for us. And then the people who also made the Harry Potter series have both announced that they're in the works of reboots.
Mm.
And I have several questions. One, can y'all not hire some more creative people to give us some creative stories? Pixar's still out here doing it. DreamWorks is still out here doing it. Why do we need all these reboots? Two, WB, if you put half the energy you put into this reboot for Harry Potter that you would put into the DC universe, you wouldn't be scrapping the DC universe again and starting over and giving us another kid Clark Kent.
Oof.
Justice for Henry Cavill.
I know.
Third part, how do I put this? Holly, we support Holly, but I never wanted a Little Mermaid reboot. I never wanted any reboots.
Okay.
Live actions are fine, but stop it.
Can we talk about my extreme disappointment in the Little Mermaid trailer? And
no, we cannot. No, because I'm waiting. I'm trying to
sad.
get chances.
I'm sad.
I'm giving it. I have to see the movie first before I say opinions.
It's very dark.
Also, I didn't see the second trailer, the official one.
You didn't?
I have this rule now where I will watch the first trailer, like the sneak peek trailer.
Yeah.
But I will not watch any more trailers after that because I feel like at that point, the trailers always give too much spoiler.
I was gonna say that, like, these days, like, you'll watch the whole movie in the trailer.
I know. You know what, though? I will say this. I will say that they need to figure out the language to use around these, because they're calling it a live action, right? They're saying, oh, this is the movie live action. This is where I think they're making a mistake. Because yes, it is live action, but the movie is not the same. Like, y'all changing things. Like, so it's like, it's not a live action of the original, because if it was a live action of the original, everything would be exactly like the original, and it would be just basically
like the original Cinderella was Rodgers Hammerstein's Brandy Cinderella was an actual Cinderella reboot because they didn't they didn't change the storyline.
No.
The story didn't change.
No.
Mulan is not a live action of Mulan.
No.
It's just another, it's a
reimagining.
It's like reimagining almost. Yeah.
So that's what they need to start calling them. They need to start calling these live actions reimaginings, because once I watch the full Little Mermaid trailer, I'm still gonna go see it, and I'm still gonna support, and in my heart and soul, I'm very excited to be in the theater. But I was let down because I was expecting this like vibrant. Keep in mind, Little Mermaid was never my favorite Disney movie, so maybe I'm not the target audience. I enjoyed it, but I mean, I thought Ariel was dumb as fuck for wanting to be a human instead of a mermaid and pining over a man that was bland as, white bread. But that's beside the point.
Oh my God.
He's one of the most boring princes next to the Cinderella.
Is on one today, and I am here for it.
I don't know, because you know what? At least Cinderella's dude in the second coming movies had like lines after lines.
Yes,
Eric really did.
You know
like,
what? Eric
didn't say much.
Because even in Little Mermaid 2, he spoke 5 times?
I was about to say, even when Eric spoke, he said nothing of substance.
Nothing. And I never believed that
he actually had a name, and Cinderella's dude was Prince Charming.
Prince Charming. Look, if they're in competition for who's the blandest love interest, I mean, it's neck and neck at this point.
But here's the thing. Let's be honest here. If you look at it, okay, Cinderella, Aurora, them having boring boyfriends, okay, those are really old movies. You can give it a pass.
Okay, don't come for my boy Philip. Prince Philip was not boring.
What did Philip do in that movie?
Philip took on the dragon with the sword of truth. That's all he needed to do for me. Don't come for him.
What did he do?
It just went so left. Like,
okay, he fought a dragon.
Okay, that's a step up from the other two. What did the other two do? Just stand there and look good.
Well, we were talking about how much they spoke and how personalities they have. He still didn't have a personality.
Look, if you defeat a dragon for me with the sword of truth, I have a little bit more love for you.
My point was, why is the movie...
royal panties will drop for the sword of truth?
My point was, why is the movie as recent as The Little Mermaid? Such a boring prince in it.
I know.
Listen, I'm just curious on how they're going to make him have personality in this movie.
He doesn't.
Is why I'm reserving all of my thoughts, because I'm like, whatever. My issue with this other announcement that the Big Mouse has made is that the original Moana movie came out in 2016.
They have run out of ideas.
Okay,
did y'all see the announcement where The Rock felt like it was his moment to shine and just had like a 30-minute conversation with the audience about himself?
Would you just let him have his little moment? Because that man ain't got nothing else to do. All I watch him do now is get face painted by his daughters.
His daughters were literally in the video, and he was like, "Come here, honey. Hand me that, piece of, I don't know, leaf over there. Let me talk about myself. Oh, yes, Moana. We're rebooting it. Oh, my God. Let me talk about me in Hawaii. Okay, yes, Moana. Okay, yes, but me again."
But here's the question. Are you going to go watch that live action?
Well, of course I'm going to watch it.
Because another Hawaiian live action that's coming that I'm terribly afraid of?
Uh-oh.
Lilo and Stitch.
You know what? I do have hope for that one.
Is this a safe space?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Are
Uh-oh.
you sure? Because I feel
Are
like
you
it's
about to
not.
tell me that you didn't like
Ocean,
Lilo and Stitch?
Ocean Lay Ode has made it very unsafe here.
Look, I just
Not a
said no come
government
for
day.
Prince Philip. That was all.
I have not watched a single live action movie Disney has come out with.
Wait, not even like Brandy Cinderella?
Well, no, that's like old. I mean
Okay,
the recent
listen.
ones.
If you ain't seen the new ones, I don't really feel too much the type of way.
I've seen like pieces of Aladdin. I've seen pieces of The Lion King. I've seen pieces
Yeah,
of
nothing.
Mulan. I've never finished them.
I wish we had sound effects because my jaw is on the ground.
Listen, I really thought you was about to be like, Brittany, I'm sorry, but I don't like Lilo and Stitch. And I was like, Troy, you're coming to my house next weekend. We're watching Lilo and Stitch.
Brittany, you know I have like 80 Stitch things all
I
over my
know.
room.
I was really confused. You really had my heart for a moment. I was like, but we're cosmic sisters.
No.
How do you not like them? My
Troy,
Stitch is
family
literally my
bases their
favorite
pets
character.
off them.
Troy, you haven't missed anything. The live
Yeah,
actions
you
have
haven't
been
missed
that great.
anything.
You
Oh,
really
okay.
haven't missed anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Aladdin had its moments, and by moments I mean Will Smith, but
Also, I
that
find
was it.
Aladdin attractive. There was that.
Aladdin was
There.
cute. He was adorable.
He had a great smile.
Oh, I lied. I saw Pinocchio.
That's the creepiest one next to what? Shit. I refuse to watch that one.
I haven't seen that one.
My nephew wanted to watch it, so we had a movie night.
It
that
looks
is
scary.
creepy as fuck. No. But
The problem with the
y'all,
live actions is that they're not as good as the originals.
I don't think they're supposed to be. So, like, okay, Disney moment. Clearly, I'm about to put on my Disney nerd hat. So, during the era where we got Little Mermaid, Aladdin, all of that, that was called the Disney Renaissance period.
Mm-hmm.
And during that period, a lot of the Disney execs wanted to play it safe. So they only wanted to put out certain types of movies, which were like fairy tales, ones that were already like, you know, somebody else's story and them just like illustrating it kind of vibe. They were too afraid to like step out into like and venture into some new territory. Hence why we got DreamWorks and the Prince of Egypt, because the original creators of DreamWorks were ex-Disney animators who left Disney because they wouldn't let them like be creative. And I feel like we're kind of going into that same moment in this era of Disney, because Disney, like the actual Disney, has not really put out any new creative movies. Pixar has been eating it up, but
Yes,
Disney has not actually been putting out anything creative lately. And I feel like we're in that period. And I was like, I wonder what we're going to get out of this, because the last time Disney got lazy like this, we ended up getting some real good other people movies.
Yes, we did. And it's funny because every time someone says the Prince of Egypt, my mind immediately is like, there can be miracles. I can't help it. Like, just instantly go to that song.
It's completely fair. I just want everybody to like stop rebooting. If you don't have any more ideas, hire somebody who does.
Okay, but like real talk. What is there to reboot about Harry Potter?
Yeah, I'm so confused. Unless they're expanding the universe and they're talking about some side characters, or maybe like, I don't fucking know.
My issue is that I refuse to watch a rebooted Harry Potter where J. Turf Rowling has the opportunity to revamp characters to fit the fake woke narrative that she was spewing after the books were made.
I will say, though, I definitely think that she got the message, because she has not been saying that shit. Like, the weird shit that she started coming up with.
Yes, she has.
Oh, she's still saying weird shit?
Yes.
Oh, I have her muted on Twitter, so.
I don't even go on Twitter for her no more, but I saw it on TikTok.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, for example, we're old enough now, we can say it. The way she wrote Black people in Harry Potter, bitch is racist. Like, the way that Angelica, the way she would literally just be living her life and somebody would come make a comment to her.
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I don't need her all of a sudden casting a Black Hermione because she want to pretend like she's not a bigot no more. No, I'm good. I don't need.
They did that
Harry
on
Potter.
Broadway, didn't they? Didn't they?
They did do that on, but Broadway is different. Like, Broadway is like, but can she sing?
Yeah, that's true.
If the girl can belt, and race didn't have anything to do with the storyline, girl, I don't care. Make her purple. As long as she can sing, I'm gonna watch it.
I
But
know that
HBO, no, I'm
I
good.
don't know what the specifics are, but I do know that just based off of like I guess her contract, based on if anyone were to adapt her books and things like that, she has some non-negotiables in there of things that they absolutely cannot do. I don't know what those things are because I didn't fully read the article. I was already triggered enough just reading the headlines.
I'm trying to find it, but I can't find anything about her like absolute no's.
And you know what? I'm not trying to say this because I never bring this up because people are always like in my early booktube times when before people were uh I guess you could say before J.K. Rowling really started like doing the most on Twitter.
Started ruining their lives.
Right. And everything on early booktube. I never talked about Harry Potter because I'd never read the books. Like to this day, I've only read like I think the first maybe 3/4 of the first book. I did not read the book, and that's not me saying, "Oh, I'm so different" or something like that. No, plenty of people have not read Harry Potter. It was more so my older sister's thing, and so I mean, I watched the movies obviously, and I watched them as they came out. But I don't have a closeness to Harry Potter that I think other people do. And I'm not saying that to be different shit like that. I just don't have the closeness to it. Like, will I go to Harry Potter World if my fans are going to? Sure, of course I'll go to Harry Potter World. Will I, did I go watch the movies because my sister was obsessed with them? Yeah, I went to go watch them. But when she started acting a plum fool, I'm like, I am so glad I don't have any tattoos because this is real depressing.
Listen, it's the way that I literally, the only, how I put this, the only tattoos I'm willing to get are game tattoos at this point. Because I don't know nothing about the game creators. And I'm purposely avoiding never learning anything about them because I feel like the moment I learned about the person who made it, they ruined everything. And I'm so glad I never got a Harry Potter tattoo. I was like, praise the Lord.
Well, the way that like she kind of destroyed her own legacy is very sad. But I also feel like we really need to understand, in a way, like if you're going to separate the author from their work, which is what I do, I'm keep things very separate. I'm like, okay, JK, you over there and I'm over here with your books and you gonna stay over there because I can't. Which is why I have her like muted on all socials, or I think I unfollowed her actually. I couldn't take it anymore. But I feel like if you are going to separate the two, then it's like you can't be that person that is just like so devastated when she says certain things, because you're just like, okay, these are her personal beliefs and this is who she is as a person, which is going to be separate from the worlds that she's created. Now, are some of her ideologies have crept into her work? Absolutely, because you can't write something and like completely have it devoid from your morals and how you feel about certain people, like, the racism aspects and things like that when it comes to certain characters. That's going to be unavoidable. So whenever she says stuff now, I just be shaking my head. I'm like, you know what?
Honestly, whenever people like do videos on TikTok and stuff like that about the like covert Christian themes and stuff like that and racism in Harry Potter, I'm just in awe because I've never read the books. I'm just like, oh my God, like all that existed in the books because I didn't get through.
I mean, to be fair, we read these books when we were like kids.
Children, yeah.
So I obviously didn't pick up on any of those kinds of things until I was a whole adult.
In the similar way for Twilight, which you get older and you realize there's like so many Christian themes and ridiculous ideologies in them. Yes. But what I find comfort in like the Twilight thing is like even people who are like obsessed with Twilight would tell you, oh no, that movie's trash.
Yes. There's like a clear understanding.
I'm not sitting here thinking that Twilight is a good book.
No. There's a clear understanding of like the campiness of it all. Yeah. And it's like you kind of make fun of it. Like even when I was younger reading Twilight, I could see, once I learned that Stephenie Meyer was Mormon or whatever the fuck she is, it made so much sense because how much the character was afraid to have sex in the books before marriage. I was like, oh, I see this. I see these religious,
and just made him extra old to put him in there.
Yep, everything was in there. She wasn't trying to hide nothing. Like it was.
And you know what's so funny? Growing up, my dad hated like so much that I was super into.
What?
Like, what is the one book series that I'm forever attached to?
Percy
Jackson.
My dad hates Percy Jackson. Like
what?
Oh my God,
Stop.
growing up,
Why?
the reason I got into Percy Jackson is because of him. Is because when we were kids, he's always been he's like really into history and stuff like that. So he's always been into learning about cultures and stuff like that, right? And he was really into Greek mythology, so much that every dog I had as a kid have been named after a Greek god, and he told us the Greek stories and all this other stuff. Like he's very into stuff like that, right? And so, in his defense, his first reaction to Percy Jackson were those awful movies, and
Okay.
he just felt like he was just like, this is, you know, he's like, he told me one day, he goes, Jesus Christ, this Twilight, do you like anything that has sense? Like,
oh no. I will say those movies were unfortunate, and if they want to reboot anything, they need to reboot that shit.
They did. The show comes out, I think, next
I'm
year.
waiting for the show before I.
Oh my gosh, there's a show.
Yeah. They already finished wrapping the first season.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm excited.
Girl, you didn't see everyone harassing the little girl who's gonna play Annabeth because she's black?
Oh, I missed
that.
Like
they had who what is the author's name? What is his name?
Rick Riordan.
Thank you. He had to come out and basically tell people to eat ass and leave her alone.
That's terrible.
And not only that, the Boy Walker who plays Percy, he doesn't have tan skin, he doesn't have black hair, and his eye color is different. And people were just like, well, are you going to give him a little bit of a tan? I'm like, okay, Percy's a white boy. I mean, he has a slight tan. It's not that big of a deal. His eyes are blue because he's Poseidon's son, but that's literally neither here nor there. At no point in any of the books, not even the spinoff of the books, does his eyes really make that big of a difference. Yeah, his hair being black.
I only remember the description being in the like.
And you know, it's so funny. Rick Riordan had to put out. He was just like, y'all are talking about my descriptions in one of the books. I say that one of the characters has this color hair, and then the next one I put that he had a different hair color.
I was about to say the author probably couldn't even keep track.
He has Game of Thrones level characters in his books. Like, there's no way he remembered all that shit.
Look, the best way to troll people that are obsessed with your book series as an author is to put in a clause that if your books were ever to be adapted into the screen, that the character descriptions of people that are cast for the characters should look the opposite. I'd be like,
if I ever write a book series, my clause is gonna be make any white person anything else but them. Like,
yes,
make them anything else.
I'll be like, I'm about to troll my fans. I can't wait.
Okay, so I will be a terrorist as an author.
They're gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe he didn't have blue wings like the book. I'll be like, yup.
Like, you're worried about blue wings and he's committing genocide?
Right? I'd be like, it was a creative license that we took.
Yo, I can't, especially considering the types of books that you're saying that you're writing. I will die 1,000 times.
People be on Reddit like, I'm so fucking pissed, and I'll be like, this is amazing publicity.
And if there's marketing in the future, if there's not compilations of whatever new site is up after YouTube descends into hell, if there's not compilations of this audio over the change of characters,
it'll probably be TikTok.
Oh,
it'll be
man.
like TikTok being like, she warned us back in 2023. Plays audio.
Yo.
I'll be like, yep.
I'm dead on a spiritual note. Sadly, that was a terrible segue to something else that's dying, and that's Book Depository.
Oh,
yes,
it's so sad.
I'm really annoyed because I don't know about y'all, but it's been plenty of times that I've gone on Book Depository and I've bought like the UK edition of a book because their cover was better.
Yes, and you know what's sad?
Where am I gonna get it from now?
Well, I didn't realize that Amazon had purchased Book Depository.
Me either.
I had no idea.
I thought they were mad that Amazon is able to do this because
look, they already were a part of getting rid of Borders, which was my all-time favorite bookstores before they closed. Yeah. And it was because of Amazon. And now they're, Book Depository is biting the dust. And I'm like, damn, they're just killing out all of they're either buying out their competition and then putting them out of their misery, or they're just running them out of business. And it sucks.
And it's crazy because bookstores, especially like big bookstores like Book Depository and Barnes and Noble and all those other places, they're changing their stores in hopes of getting more clientele so
Yes.
they won't have to be bought by Amazon. But then the downside of that is that this is no longer a bookstore. It's like you're
Yep.
walking into a cafe or you're walking into an
Yeah.
advertisement for some stationery shop, and it's
I
like,
know.
which is fine if you wanted to add that. Like all Barnes and Nobles have always had like a paper source and stuff like that, but it
Yeah.
got to the point where now they're like being like the Barnes and Noble. Brittany, I don't know if you've been to it recently on West Gray.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bookstore.
It's not a bookstore anymore. I'm sorry.
Wait,
It's
what?
It's literally like, you know how when you watch TV shows where it's supposed to be like teenagers and they have like a teenager hangout spot?
Yes.
That's that Barnes and Noble.
That's what it is.
Oh, wow.
It's like half of it is just paper source stuff, and then the other half is just like St. Anne's, Lamar students, and Lanier students hanging out.
Yes.
You
It's
know
very
what's
weird.
funny? As convenient as Amazon is, I kind of wish they never existed because they have caused so much chaos. And the problem with them is they cause it so, like, in the free marketplace, there's no competition because they are so powerful that there can be no competition. They put all their competition out of business. And then it's like,
Yeah.
how is somebody supposed to feel like they can start a bookstore when they have to compete with the likes of Amazon? And I'm just like, when are we as a society just going to be like, you know what, this monopoly is not okay, and we're going to just not. 'Cause I actually make a conscious effort to not buy things from Amazon anymore if I can go to the store and get it, because I'm just like, this is becoming ridiculous.
Normally in other sectors of the world, like cable companies and things like that, like
Don't
there
they have
is,
laws like governing
yes,
how much?
like they like team like cell phone companies, they can get stopped by the government from acquiring a new, because Disney even had to go through that when they acquired Fox.
Mm,
Like, but for some reason, Amazon is wiping out local bookstores, local and indie bookstores all over the world, not just our country, but the world, because you can get books off Amazon from any country.
you can.
So
I've
it's
been
like,
trying really,
how are they
really,
getting away
really.
with this?
I've been trying really hard not to buy stuff from Amazon
I
unless I
personally don't buy
absolutely
books
cannot.
from Amazon.
Unless I cannot find it anywhere else. I mean, I do have like my Kindle, obviously, so a lot of my ebooks I get from them. But when I talk about like physical books, if I can't find it on a different website or in the actual bookstore, I'm trying so hard not to buy from them because it's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Amazon is my very last choice. Barnes and Nobles is my second to last choice. I try to go to like
Yes.
Kindred and stuff here in Houston, or I'll even order it from another Black owned bookstore online. But
Yep.
also, I feel, again, I'm very annoyed because, for example, I think it was A Dragon's Promise. It was an Elizabeth Lynn book. All
Mm.
I know is that the American cover was like this regular, like whatever cover. The UK cover was this beautiful pastel-y, like gold and silver thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I must have this. How do I acquire this?
And let's
You
Where
also
do
wanna
I
add
go for
that.
that now?
you
Like,
wanna see something? You wanna know something really upsetting?
What?
yeah.
Someone was like, "Oh, well," because people were like, "Oh my gosh, like, how am I gonna get my international books?" Like, blah, 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 blah. Someone, and I honestly think it was an Amazon employee that had like a burner account pretending to be a normal person. And they were just like, "Oh, well, you can just switch your Amazon to Amazon UK and you should be able to get, whatever other international." I was like, they were like, "Yeah, you just go on Amazon and switch it to Amazon UK. There's like a tab where you just switch it over." And I was like, no, they did not. No, they did not put Book Depository out of business so they could just drive more business to
I'm so
themselves.
mad. I don't know why. Like, it's like I barely use Book Depository, but having it as a resource for
Yes.
international versions was just so clutch. And to just, because again, I mean, I have a Kindle and I have Kindle Unlimited. So I obviously get the ebooks and stuff from Amazon. But all of my physical books, unless let me stop lying. A lot of my books have come from like Fairy Loot and like special edition books. But the
Yeah.
ones that are regular, lately it's been like I need to like go to Kindred, like let me order these books from Kindred,
Yeah.
or have to request it from Kindred because sometimes they don't have it. And that's another thing, like a lot of the local bookstores, like they have to be particular in which books they
That's true.
keep in the store,
They can't
because
carry
I mean
everything.
they can't just keep inventory for everything. Like they usually stick to the more popular ones, which I think is also hurting authors.
Agreed.
So it's just like, because even Barnes and Nobles has started getting picky about who's going to be, which hardcovers
Well,
actually get to be in there or not.
you know what's fucking running
Well,
Barnes and Nobles right now, which really pisses me off, is Book Talk, because Book Talk is so
Bruh.
unreliable. And the fact that most of the books that go viral on Book Talk are literally
the
horrible
worst.
books. And I'm just
The
like,
worst.
And can we
what
talk
the
about
fuck?
the books that go viral on Book Talk, or books that have been out for like a billion years?
Bruh,
They've
it's
been
like,
out
I'm
for
like,
so
that
long.
Colleen Hoover book came out in like 2012.
it's like they
Yes.
just picked up books and just started reading.
Yes.
And it's like it's like they were on BookTube like 5-6 years ago.
Oh,
But it's
100%.
now TikTok. Like that's how they're acting.
Oh, it
They'll be
drives
like,
me
I
insane.
found this book. I'm like, you found this book when, sis?
Yeah, it's been out for a long time.
I'm like, yo, you do realize it was a New York Times bestseller before TikTok, right?
Yes. And not to mention, the hype of that book has come and gone. Like, you need to get with the times.
And it's really funny to see like the uproar about certain, not just Colleen Hoover, but like so many other books are typically they're romance books. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Romance books get
the most arguments I've
most-
seen are romance related. Yes.
I
they're
really
romance related.
hate that romance has become mainstream, because the way that people complain about shit that like normal, actual, everyday, been doing it for decades now, romance readers, we just be rolling our eyes like, okay, like,
Can we go back to the time where the most hate we had to get was like pretentious book people going,
yes,
that's not real literature.
yes, like, can we just go back to when y'all told us that we were, you know,
Not
perverted for
readers.
reading? Like, let's just go back to those times, because y'all don't know how to handle it. Like, don't
you
read
know what?
romance if you don't know how to handle it, for the love of
I'm
God.
so glad to see people who pick up reading and find solace in that and everything.
I'm not. Find a new hobby. We were happy before you discovered this.
I'm so over this whole podcast.
Leave us to our reading. Go back to basket weaving or whatever the fuck you were doing before.
But you know what? What I was gonna say was, more power to you. But my problem becomes then is that there's also something that happens on BookTube that's been happening way before TikTok, and that is the overconsumption of books. I don't think people realize you can have an overconsumption of books. It's not just the makeup side of these places. It's not just the gamers. It's not just the fashion.
I'm mad I'm in all these categories. Shit.
Huh?
I'm mad I'm in all these categories.
Looking around her room.
Like, shit.
Me again.
Like, not the makeup, not the games. Ooh,
she's
shit.
like, yep, that was beat. Yep.
There's like overconsumption. Like I literally the other day I was looking at my bookshelf because my shelves on my desk are like standing up by books because I didn't feel like drilling them into a wall. But I'm so glad I don't live where earthquakes happen because it would all come tumbling down.
Listen,
but I was looking at my bookshelf and I realized it was really empty because like one whole shelf is like Nightmare Before Christmas and Disney themed, and then one whole shelf is K-pop themed. So only 2 shelves of books in my room. And I thought about it. I'm just like, there's no way I don't have more books than this. And I realized at my dad's house, I have like tubs and tubs of books. And it's, you know what? Fine. If the tubs and tubs of books are books I fell in love with, if they're books that I really, really cared about, I could not sit here and tell you one of the books that are in those tubs.
Ooh,
like not one
library donation.
It's true. And like there is that meme that always says like there is that thing where book reading versus book collecting can intersect. Like in the Venn diagram, you have the people that are only readers, and so they may not own a lot of books, they may use the library a lot, they may only have a few shelves. And then you have the other circle in the Venn diagram was people that only collect books. Like, yeah, they read occasionally, but they have like 5 million books in their fucking house, and it's like a Beauty and the Beast library. And then you have like where the two intersect, where it's like you collect shit ton of books and you read some of them, but you also just like to buy books. And that is a very real thing. And I feel like when I was doing BookTube regularly, I fell into that trap of just buying books all the time and like not reading a lot of them. Because growing up, like I didn't live in a household where we could just buy books willy nilly. Like buying a book was a huge deal and it
Yep.
was a treat. And so every book I owned, I had read, and a lot of times I had read multiple times. So
Yeah.
I didn't own any books that I hadn't read my entire childhood. It
Yeah.
wasn't until I became an adult and I started BookTube where now I like own like literally I could go out to my shelves today and there's like tons of books on my shelves I've never even cracked open. And
Oh, dang.
so at some point once I stopped, making videos as much, I just stopped buying books to that level. Now when I buy a book, I read it then and there and then that's that. Which is I'm glad to get back to that place from my childhood of like you buy a book, you read a book, which is where I'm at right now. But yeah, it's very real, Troy. Like the overconsumption is a real thing, and book collecting is nice and everything, and it's fine and everything. But you have to draw a line because at some point, like the capitalism of it all is insane.
And I actually told my dad last year, I was just like, I came over and I said I was going to go through all the books. And his homegirl a few years ago opened a Black Women's Library. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
That
yeah,
is awesome.
it's called the Free Black Women's Library, I think.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And
I
so
put books in that thing.
yeah, so I just was like, okay, is she accepting donations? He's like, I can ask her. And I said, okay, I'm going to give you anything Black owned I have, especially from the book club and stuff like that. I'll just give them to you and you can donate them to her. They're all in pretty mint condition to the point where I think I only have like maybe 10 books in one of the tubs that are books I have had since I was, like Oshale said, since I was a preteen. And, I have all my old versions.
Oh no,
of
my
Harry Potter.
nostalgia books have a shelf of their own.
Yeah, they have a shelf.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is completely unrelated somewhat, but not really. Troy, I need to talk about this.
Oh God.
Okay, so did you ever read that romance book, Beautiful Disaster by Jamie Maguire? That was like a big deal years ago.
Never finished it.
Girl, do you know they made it into a movie
Yes,
starring...
because Dylan Sprouse is in it, right?
Can we talk about this? Have you seen the trailer?
I have, and I was like, it's so funny because I know y'all are on Twitter because when it came out, I like quote tweeted, I was like, when were y'all gonna tell me this became a movie? And Twitter had a meltdown. It was like half of the people were super excited and half people were just like really upset about this. The book is horrible, like the stuff that happens in it, but
Real
I'm
bad.
just like, y'all let After become a movie series. Why can't
Okay, the fact that Dylan Sprouse is trying to convince me that he's a beautiful disaster of a man is something that I want someone to go to jail for.
I don't know because after Cole Sprouse's call her daddy interview,
Oh
I
my
think
God,
he could go for it.
Okay, yes, he's a beautiful disaster in real life, unfortunate childhood, I get it. But the main male protagonist in that book is described as being this like tall, beefed out, like man whore dude. And watching him in that trailer, legitimately, I felt secondhand embarrassment. I was like, who casted this? I was like, who was the casting director? Because this was not a good idea.
I never finished it, and honestly, I can't 100% remember what happened in it because I remember when it came, like when it got to be really, really popular, and I tried to read it, I didn't finish it, probably because it was just a lot going on. It's up there with 50 Shades of Grey for me, where it's just too
100%.
much ridiculous going on. Like there's
100%.
there's only so much suspension I can do.
Girl.
Before I'm like, there's just no way. Like, I can't suspend my brain that much.
No, I don't think anyone can. I think I read it once when it first came out, and then I reread it again when it hit the heights of popularity. But I remember just watching the trailer, and my brain was just short-circuiting because I was so disturbed, would be the word. I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
Do you remember how back in the day when we were younger, like we would refer to a movie coming out as like, oh, that's a bootleg movie. Like, oh, that's a movie. I'm going to bootleg because I'm not paying $10. Definitely up there.
Was like, After is better than this. What in the actual hell is going on?
Like, this is some real, I'm going to get the DVD guy on the corner to give me this movie because I'm not watching it.
that Dylan Sprouse with his, he's 5'9" on his best day with some
Oh no.
lifting
no.
shoes. I don't buy it. I was like, you let's not. I don't want to insult the man. Let's just leave it there.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's too late.
I can contribute.
Honestly, I don't have any opinion of the characters who play them because I don't think it matters who plays these characters because it's just ridiculous. Like someone could reboot 50 Shades of Grey and I will have the same feelings from the new reboot as the old one because I'm just like,
can we talk about how much I actually love the 50 Shades of Grey movies and watch them when I'm having a bad day?
Why am I not shocked?
You know what? I'm Miss Brittany. I'm not shocked. You know what's so funny? The books I can take, the movies I can't.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed with the movies. I hate the books because if Anna has to talk about her inner goddess one goddamn time, I'm just like throwing the book against the wall.
You know what? Maybe it's because of the extra commentary in the books, but seeing it in live action, immediately. No.
I got kicked out of the movie theater from laughing so hard. I got invited for a girls' day, and they didn't invite me to the second and third movie.
They were like, I laughed ruining our buzz. This is literally my comfort movie when I'm feeling depressed.
Comfort movie? Comfort movie? You are a menace. You are a menace to society.
What? Especially
you are a terrorist. Stop it.
This is the worst thing I've ever heard on this podcast since Brittany.
When you're feeling depressed, you watch 50 Shades of Mess?
Yes, because I'm like, at least somebody else's life was more fucked up.
When I'm depressed, I turn on Howl's Moving Castle. You watching
Parent Trap or Princess Diaries. The fuck?
Ella Enchanted. You're watching.
Yes, because those movies are like happy, and I'm like, oh my god, why can't my life be like this? Well, maybe not Howl's Moving Castle for
I was like,
majority.
Bitch, you can be how you want to. I don't want to do that.
But for 50 Shades of Grey, I'm like, you know what? She's going through hell right now. This is what I need.
Oh my gosh, this is just.
Y'all are me you have another.
I am shook. What is your alternative? Because I'm
what is my current alternative? I think that's like my first. Oh, you know what? The Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth. That's my alternative.
Okay.
That's tamer.
I can way more tolerable.
It's tamer than you telling me.
I really thought you were going to say another dumbass movie. I was like, man, my
like, we have.
It depends on how depressed I am. Like if I'm literally like bottom of the barrel depressed, 50 Shades of Grey. If I'm just a little sad, Pride and Prejudice. Or like Sense and Sensibility, or
if I'm bottom of the barrel depressed, like can't get out of bed, my room looks like a tornado hit it. I'm definitely not watching 50 Shades of Grey. I think I don't even watch Twilight at that point because I don't want to be further depressed or irritated.
I'm with Troy.
So I will probably like watch the second Frozen or like
I love the second Frozen.
Or maybe like
oh my gosh,
I don't know. Right now. Studio Ghibli is typically where I go.
When I'm in the bottom of the barrel, I watch Tangled.
Ooh, I love Tangled.
I watch Kiki's Delivery Service or The Secrets of Arrietty. Because the soundtracks of both of those just really send me to a very like.
And let's be clear: after My Neighbor Totoro, there will not be another Studio Ghibli movie that will not depress you further. So,
I mean, the only ones to be fair, by the time I'm at the point where I'm watching these movies, I've probably just been sitting there crying at some point, and I'm just looking for the music to put me to sleep.
Yep. Like honestly, when I'm depressed and Howl's Moving Castle is on, 1 minute I'll be like where she's visiting her sister, and like the next minute I'm functioning enough to realize I'm watching a movie. He's like, Sophie, your hair looks like starlight. Like
exactly. That's kind of how I watch movies at certain points. Like,
Oh, you know what? I do have one chaotic. If I'm bottom of the barrel depressed movie, I do.
Oh Lord.
Ooh, what is it?
Pirates of the Caribbean. That's a little chaotic.
Oh, see,
I love those movies.
I go to my Negro classics.
Yes.
Especially if
I don't know, some of them be a little too long for me.
If I'm missing my daddy or something, it'll definitely be a Friday marathon.
Oh, Friday.
Yeah.
I'll watch those movies in a minute. Oh my gosh, I love Brown Sugar.
Oh my gosh. You know which one I watched? We're gonna wrap it up soon, I promise. But you know what I watched the other day?
What?
Because I was feeling kind of
What?
act like a lady but think like a man.
I
Yes.
love that movie.
I
I
love
love
that
that movie
movie.
so much.
I love that movie.
But as
Like,
I
so
watch that
funny.
movie, it's like listening to Steve Harvey be the one to give advice makes my skin crawl.
it's so triggering
I
because I'd be
literally,
like, this is horrible
cannot.
advice, but here we are.
I just ignore every time he pops up on screen and he's like giving the advice. I
Yes.
just like tune it out.
I was like,
I
this
know.
advice is terrible, manipulative,
Very
like,
manipulative.
all the things that you're not supposed to do when you're trying to get into a relationship.
Like,
It's
no,
like-
let me just focus on all these cute Black couples and we're gonna move on.
I
Listen,
know.
also, you know, Michael
Minus
fine
one.
ass Ely.
Oh,
Oh my
he's
goodness.
beautiful.
One
He
of my
either
favorite
plays-
scenes.
He either plays like a beautiful dreamer or a psycho man. He has never played an in-between role.
You're
Nope.
right. Wow.
Like, never.
But also, that movie is very triggering to me because obviously I
Extremely.
relate to Taraji P. Henson's character.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I just want y'all to understand how weirdo it is for y'all to tell her a multi-million, like she makes bank, that she's supposed to settle for a guy with potential.
And guess what? That's what she did.
And because this one wasn't like, he wasn't just potential, he was a man of action at the end, but she was supposed to like give up everything. Like this man,
But he
was
didn't have
barely-
he didn't have no action until he met her. So that was the problem.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That part right there. It was like, so I'm supposed to just accept and hope that I will get a guy that will actually start to do something.
I honestly didn't feel like connected to any of the characters, to be honest.
I unfortunately connected. Actually, the only one I didn't connect to was the single mother.
Oh, I
And
like
No,
her
and I didn't
character.
connect to Gabrielle Union's one either.
That one was interesting.
Listen, when she walked into her apartment and she was like, "This is some silly ass
As
shit,"
shit.
I knew
I
That was
felt
fucking
very
hilarious.
offended. I was very offended.
I was so offended.
That
I
shit
was
was
like-
hilarious, though.
looking around my room.
I know. It's like she says that, and my couch is next to my dog cabinet. I'm like,
But can we talk about that real quick? She was low-key hypocritical about that whole thing because she liked the silly ass shit.
yes.
I think what it wasn't the shit itself. It was what it represented, which was he wasn't willing to move forward in the relationship. And she thought
Yeah.
she attributed
Damn,
that
not you
to
over
the
here getting
stuff.
real deep.
Right.
Well, I'm
Which is
just
true.
saying.
Which
She
is true,
attributed to the
100%.
stuff. And the stuff had nothing to do with it. It was just like her
Yeah,
way. She
definitely
was
took out her
projecting.
frustration on the stuff.
Yeah,
On
she
the
was
stuff, yeah.
projecting
Because
didn't
she
like
was
it.
still
Yeah.
walking around in like Star Wars shit and getting high on the couch. And I was just like, well, you're not really giving him any push to think that you don't like it. So I mean,
Exactly.
Right.
But I know
still
one
love that
damn
though.
thing, that couch
for
would
that
not have been
movie.
in my apartment, no matter how silly I am.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I'm just praying that this dating experience, when it starts up again, that like the first time he comes over to my house, he don't try me.
I hope not. Because guess what? You have a house. Enough said.
Because I feel
Well,
like
you know what? When I come over at the end of the month, I'm just gonna come in and I'm just gonna be like, "This is some silly ass shit." Brandy." And you practice what you gonna say back.
oh my god. Quickest way to get kicked out my fucking house. Come in here and some shit.
I can't talk. I have a Disney shelf.
Oh my
Listen,
god.
I
That's funny.
just speaking
You know
of
what's so
that,
funny? Someone commented on one of my TikTok vlogs. Oh, her vlogs are so cute, but she's a Disney adult.
oh my gosh.
Wow.
was
They
just like-
really try to shame you, huh?
I was
I
just like,
mean,
was that
she's
supposed to
really
hurt my
because
feelings?
like being a Disney adult is fine, but when somebody who's not Disney adult calls you one, it's nothing but an insult.
It's
It's
nothing-
but
you
it
should
is.
just respond to her and be like, I am. And see
I,
what
was-
she
I
does.
didn't even know what to say. I was just like, and because when people call people Disney adults, they're talking about like those people who are like strapping themselves to the what's the ride that's closing, Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Ain't no
Disney
way.
tomorrow could be like, I don't know, we're closing down Disney World, and I'd be super hurt, but I ain't changing myself to shit.
Also, like, and this is really important, they paid money to go into the park to change
go-
themselves.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Like,
paid
you
up
know
to
how
$2
wild
for
that is? Like,
Do you know how low like your life has to be at, like the lowest point? You have to have a life that's just in the shitter for you to think that's a good idea.
I feel like if you don't have like at least a little bit, like Disney it's Disney. Like if you sit there and you can sit there and tell me to my face that you just love Disney and there's nothing about Disney you dislike, then you're a Disney adult when people are talking about, oh my gosh, she's a Disney adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like because then it's just like you don't think there's anything wrong. Like why does Tomorrowland look like it was built in 1922?
Because
Like-
the only thing different from it is they took away the lynching rope.
Ooh. Look.
Listen, we can talk about it because
Look.
we're not gonna forget who Disney was.
Yeah.
May he rest in hell.
Listen, I ain't never
Rest
getting
in
to heaven. Being a
Imagine.
millennial or a Gen Zer, you're not going to heaven. It's just not possible.
Can you imagine somebody being like, my great grandma died, may she rest in hell? Like, what?
While we're playing, because sometimes I doom scroll at night because sleeping and I haven't been friends. And
Oh.
I was scrolling and this girl was like, I want to give a shout out to my grandma. May she rest in hell. And then she holds up this like powder, like a handful of powder and like blows it into the wind. I was like, I hate y'all. I hate the internet. I hate
No, one of my
Have you-
favorite videos on TikTok is that one where it was that trend of someone wondering if this person is faking it or if they just didn't want to do this. And this one guy, he was like wondering if my wife has been faking it this whole time because she didn't want to watch the kids, and he shows her urn.
Oh, man. That's terrible.
Like, I'm gonna peel myself.
Oh man, I've seen like some horrible memes, like somebody being like, "Oh my gosh, my husband finally being where he belongs," and it's like their urn full of their ashes in the dumpster, and I'm just like, it's fucked up.
Okay.
That level of fucked up is high. It's very high.
Do y'all have any announcements? We need to end.
Oh Lord.
Throwbackathon. Let's talk about it.
Throwbackathon.
Oh, that's right. So if you guys want to see the prompt video, it is actually live on our channel right now. You can go check it out. The post for it is going to go on IG tomorrow because for some reason my dumb behind scheduled it for tomorrow, but I don't feel like changing it. So it's going to go up tomorrow. Throwbackathon actually starts April 17th.
6 days away.
I know we're late, guys. I know it was my fault. April's going by too fast.
It's all good.
I have an announcement. Brittany's
your
coming with us
announcement?
to see Taylor Swift.
You know what? I should have referred to this as announcements that matter.
Not announcements that matter. Okay, announcements that matter. Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn broke up.
Oh my gosh.
I'm only sad.
Actual announcements that matter.
That
The
next
first
album is
live
gonna be
Black
amazing.
Prose Club is gonna happen because they're coming to see Taylor Swift.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what we should have said, guys. Like,
Oh,
be
okay.
better.
Sorry about that.
Black Prose Club after 5 years of knowing each other, or maybe more. I'm not really sure how many years it is.
At this point, who knows?
Who knows?
You've lost
Are-
track.
The
We're
number
gonna be in the same state, city, and house.
Yes.
and oh my gosh, that's right. Because I've met Oshale and I've met Troy, but they have never actually met each
Which
other.
is so weird to me. Like
It's
that
so
is
weird.
so
Wild.
bizarre. So wild.
What are the chances that the two of the people that Oshale reached out to lived in Houston?
I know. I didn't even know that before I
Because me
reached out
and
to
Brittany
y'all.
didn't follow each other on social media,
Surely
so
did
I knew she existed. I just didn't know she lived in Houston.
That's the part. That's
So
the same way I
crazy.
felt about her. It was like, oh
And-
shit. But yeah,
I
so
know.
we're gonna be doing a live show in one of the rooms of my house. I haven't figured out which room yet. So if you have questions for us that you would like us to answer, leave it as a comment in this video. We'll post another one on Instagram too. But yeah, I'm gonna have visitors in my house, which is gonna be great because y'all will be the first visitor. Wait, yeah, y'all will be the first visitors of 2023.
Yay! the way that sounded fake, but it wasn't.
I did. It sounded like, oh, great.
I was like, okay, try not to sound too excited. All
I
right.
think that's just like our social battery winding down.
Yeah. Any personal channel things?
Make sure you follow Melanin Eclectic and all of her
Oh, this-
channels.
Yes. Support our girl.
right, guys.
Excellent. It's
It's
time to
been
go.
great. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Stay blessed. Stay hydrated. Keep reading Black. And we will talk to y'all later. Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.